was a magical appearance of a tiny little bit of language, not in the Senate, not in the House, but in the secret confines of the conference committee that merged the two bills. It just slipped in as a sentence. Nobody took credit for it. I still can't identify who slipped that thing in there. But once it got slipped in, the pharmaceutical industry defended it with all the venom and power and money and muscle that they had, and we beat them. We took it away. Now, just like the Veterans Administration, Medicare gets to negotiate and drive prices down, and that is going to make a big difference for Rhode Islanders with diabetes, with cancer, with blood clots, with heart disease, with rheumatoid arthritis. This happened because all of us Senate Democrats got together, stuck to our guns, and made it happen through the Inflation Reduction Act, which came out of the Budget Committee originally, the authorization. We are lowering the prices of these 10 very expensive drugs, and even though the pharmaceutical industry is going to try to wrestle around in court, pretty hard to say that Medicare doesn't have the same authority that its sister agency, the Veterans Administration, has to negotiate for pharmaceuticals. Shows how much they will try to get that little slippery sentence that got slipped into that bill back to defend their price gouging. Vaccines are now free with Medicare. Insulin is capped at $35 a month. Drug companies are penalized if they jack up their prices higher than the rate of inflation. A $3,250 cap on out-of-pocket spending for seniors is just about to go into effect, and the next year it drops to a $2,000 limit. I think that'll cover 11,000 Rhode Islanders who now pay higher out-of-pocket costs than those. These changes will save tens of thousands of Medicare Part D enrollees in Rhode Island over $23 million. That's a big number in our small state. I would like to think that the Inflation Reduction Act was bipartisan. It would be great if this had passed with bipartisan support. It didn't. Not a single Republican vote came. I regret that, but we're going to continue. There's more progress to be made. We've shown that it can be done.
Uh-oh, friends. Time is running out. The American people are demanding that Congress approve a government spending bill before the October deadline. New reports show that the government shutdown could have catastrophic effects on the U.S. economy. The Federal Reserve is also now signaling one more rate hike, pushing interest rate cuts even further into the future. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to hear about all of the details. Also, every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. According to Newsweek, if House Speaker Kevin McCarthy fails to convince Republicans to avoid a government shutdown by September 30th, America's economy could take a big hit. The stalemate over the passage of spending bills comes only a few months after the United States came close to defaulting on its debt, which threatened to cause turmoil in the global economy. The brinkmanship prompted the ratings agency Fitch to downgrade the U.S. credit rating a notch below its top level. Fitch blamed the demotion on a steady deterioration in standards of governance over the last 20 years, which have eroded confidence in fiscal management in the world's largest economy. So faced with another instance of fiscal governance, Washington, D.C. is falling short again. If October 1st comes around and the government has not reached an agreement, thousands of federal workers will be forced to stay home from work. Economists tell Newsweek, while the short-term economic damage may be reversible, Americans would still feel the cost of government shutdowns in their pocketbooks. Federal employees furloughed during the halt of government operations do not get paid, but are usually reimbursed when their agencies get back to work. This will blunt the lack of spending in the economy from those workers. One economist suggested that the economy still suffers losses from a shutdown as paychecks hit a pause, with spending curtailed. Canceled dinner plans or trips to the movies is cash gone from the U.S. economy. Kevin Lang, a professor of economics at Boston University, echoed those sentiments. He has said that more than 360,000 employees live and work in the Washington, D.C. region, and those who may be forced to stay home. They will take a significant chunk of their spending away from the area's businesses and economy. Since the 1970s, there have been close to 20 budgetary deadlocks, but few actual government shutdowns, where the government runs out of money due to lack of funding agreement. The longest gap took place in December 2018 and lasted for more than a month. Also, friends, according to economists, a resilient U.S. economy will prompt the Federal Reserve to pencil in one more interest rate hike this year and stay at the peak level next year for longer than previously expected. Many expect the Federal Open Market Committee will keep rates steady in the 5.25% to 5.5% range and remain there until a first cut next May. Policymakers are likely to forecast one additional rate hike this year in the so-called dot plot contained in their quarterly summary of economic projections as they upgrade their view of the U.S. economic outlook. However, there are some economists that think the Fed will not go ahead with a final increase. Fed Chair Jerome Powell and his colleagues have signaled plans to pause hikes this month as they slow the tightening campaign and approach a peak in rates. Powell said at last month's meeting in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, that the rate of inflation remained too high and central bankers were prepared to tighten more if necessary. Economic data have largely surprised the upside in recent months, meaning central bankers will need to keep rates higher for longer in order to reduce price pressures as they seek to return inflation to their 2% target rate. But most do not expect the need for another rate hike. Almost all the economists expect the guidance in the statement to be maintained, with the committee hinting at the possibility of more tightening. The Federal Open Market Committee will continue to shrink the balance sheet through not replacing maturing bonds, and the economists expect this to continue even after the start of rate cuts. Many economists expect the balance sheet to drop to $7.8 trillion by December and $6.8 trillion by the year 2025. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Thank you, friends, very much for being part of this community. The winners of yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway is Teresa Davis and Juanita Casillo. Congratulations to both of you, my friends. To claim your gift cards, please check your notifications page and send me a message. Or you can message me on my Facebook page. Thank you, dearest friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed weekend.